Today we are digging into the flavors of Dublin with some amazing walking tours that you're going to want to check out. Thank you so much for joining me again here on the Traveling in Ireland podcast. Today I am joined by my good friend Gráinne, who owns a company in Dublin called Flavour Trails. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you, be a name dropper. If you visit a place that you heard about on the podcast, be sure to let them know. This helps me to get more great guests on the show and to share more terrific Ireland attractions and tips. So go ahead and be a name dropper. Just say, I heard about you on the Traveling in Ireland podcast. So Gráinne, I am so excited to have you back on with me. It's been years since we talked last on the pod. Actually, I don't even think it was on the podcast. I think it was, was it during COVID maybe? And we were just kind of talking about what was going on. Yeah. So it's been a while since I've had you, and things have changed for you. At the time you were working for a tour company, and now you own your own company, which I am so excited to share with everyone. You own a company called Flavour Trails in Dublin, and you offer food, whiskey, and storytelling tours focusing on the flavors, the history, and definitely the crack in Ireland's capital city. So it's so much fun.
It is so much fun. Imagine eating and drinking for a living. Like, it's just not a bad deal at all. No, it's been great welcoming everybody to Dublin. I've been lucky enough to live abroad, and all of the great people that took care of me when I lived abroad. It's been great to sort of show off Ireland to its best and look after them as well. So it's been a lovely few years since COVID. I actually took over the business I used to work for. So Paul Kavanagh started that business, and he was just brilliant. He was brilliant to me, and I've been delighted to be able to continue it while he's gone off to pastures greener, I think.
So you mentioned that you left Ireland for a while. And when you came home, you became like this passionate promoter of Ireland, basically in the taste, the food, and the whiskey, which I think gives you a really interesting insight into why Dublin and Ireland as a whole are so incredibly special.
Mm. You're right. I think I only really appreciated home when I left, and a lot of people will say that. Dublin in particular, I'm not from Dublin, so I'm not supposed to say I like it. So if you speak to Dubliners, do not tell them I'm saying this. But Dublin's an amazing city. We've 1.5 million people in the city. And for that size of the city, if you're sensible, it's a safe city. It's warm in personality. The amount of people that say, I'm looking at a map and I don't have to ask anyone. People just come up and say, are you lost? Let me show you where to go. So very warm in personality and practically really easy to get around walking. They don't call us Irish for nothing. So when I say everything's 15 minutes away, it's 15 minutes-ish away, but it's so walkable, pretty good public transport as well. So practically it's really good, but I do think it's all about people here, really.
Yeah, the people in Dublin are they're so nice. They're so friendly. And like you said, they're so helpful. So Dublin is one of those places, obviously, it's the main hub, it's the main airport. So it's one of those places that almost everybody who travels to Ireland either spends a little bit of time there or they'll base there for a few days, and they'll either start or end their trip in the capital city. So from your perspective, what would you say makes Dublin such a great city for visitors? Besides, like you said, you can literally walk nearly everywhere that you want to visit within the city. But what else would cause you to recommend Dublin as a spot for people?
Well, I think the really simple answer is we don't sell culture. So our museums are free, our galleries are free, entertainment in the pubs at night time is free. When I moved abroad, I was blown away by how spoiled I am in Dublin. So I think those things are a big, big thing. Being able to go into the pub at night time, and experience storytelling, Irish music, dancing, just go into a pub for a chat. You don't get it to the same extent anywhere else, completely free of charge. and relatively early. We're not late night people either. People are kind of surprised by that.
Yeah,
So
pubs aren't open till like 2 a.m.
exactly, exactly. So you start early, you finish early, and you're up bright and early to get your sightseeing in during the day. So I think those things are amazing. The Hugh Lane Art Gallery is just amazing with the Francis Bacon studio there, and my favourite artist, Harry Clark, is featured there as stained glass. The Archaeology Museum, one of the largest gold collections in the world. Like, we're so lucky. The Bog Bodies, our national gallery. I'm so proud of it since it's been done up. It's beautiful. So I think having free access, because Dublin's a little bit expensive, but we have lots of things that you can enjoy that won't cost you anything.
That is a great point because Dublin is an expensive place to stay. It's an expensive place to eat. It's an expensive place to drink if you're in Temple Bar. But the fact that there are so many low cost or free things to do, it does offset it a bit. That's a really terrific point, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of the first things when people come on our tour, they generally book it the first thing they do when they're in Dublin to get recommendations. All of our reviews are saying, do this tour when you land. It's a great way to get over jet lag and get the recommendations. And the first thing I say is, guys, get into the museums, get into the galleries, go to the pub tonight, have your dinner, because that's also a relatively inexpensive way to eat. Really good quality food, and then you're in bed, get a good night's sleep, and you're catching up on your jet lag.
All right, so let me ask you this question. So everybody knows about Temple Bar. That's kind of the place that tourists go. Music, entertainment, all of that. It's a very busy place. And if you're going to drink, it's the most expensive spot in Dublin. So, what pub would you say would be great to go to if you want good music, good food outside of Temple Bar?
Great question. So if you're north side, so the River Liffey divides us north and south side. If you're north side, it has to be the Cobblestone up in Smithfield Square. So if you're going to visit Jemison, pop up there to the Cobblestone, music 7 nights a week. And its equivalent on the south side would be O'Donoghue's or O'Donoghue's to you guys. So O'Donoghue's up on St. Stephen's Green, again, 7 nights a week. And it's where musicians want to play music in Dublin.
Oh, that's an excellent tip. So, a little bit back to tourism before we pop into your business. So, you mentioned so many free attractions, so many great attractions in the city. If people were to ask you, what are 3 things I should not miss, free or paid? What 3 things should I not miss in Dublin? Where would you send them?
I always send people to Glasnevin Cemetery. There's 1.5 million people buried there. So it's the history of Dublin through the people. So you're talking about revolutionary leaders, you're talking about famous people, but also the working class people of Dublin who have amazing stories, and nobody does death better than the Irish, okay? So it's very respectful of the graves, but it's also very entertaining, and it's to get to know Dublin through the people. So I love Glasnevin Cemetery. Pint in the grave diggers and a bowl of coddle afterwards, very, very important. So I love that. I've just recently done an activity over on the north side of Dublin, which is Tufting Dublin, where you make.
I saw that.
It's so good. I absolutely loved it. It's run by Alternative Dublin, and they've lots of different activities, but you can just send in a design, they put it up on a piece of material, and then you get this like machine gun type, yeah, this to thread it through, and you make these little rugs, so they're actually really packable. You can bring them home, they pack really flat. The instructor was amazing, something just really different, really unusual. I did a Claddagh design on mine, and
It was gorgeous.
yeah, so I love that as an activity, and really good value. I found it really, really good value for the activity as well. And then the third thing I would say in Dublin would be, this might be a bit controversial because I shouldn't be saying a whiskey thing. Come to my whiskey tour. But if you wanted to do a distillery tour, I love, love, love Pierce Lyons. Especially for people, you'll have some people who are into whiskey, so you've got small batch, micro distillery. But if you're not into whiskey, they also do a gin making class. You get your own still and you make gin. And if you're not into either, the history part of the tour. It's beautiful. It's based in a church, and because whiskey is holy water, they have the pot still on the altar. We love that. So it's a lovely micro distillery, and I really enjoy that every time I go.
That's the distillery tour that I always recommend as well. I just think it's got that, the church and then the whiskey, and it seems like a direct head-to-head competition there between, it's hard, but yeah, I think that one's a terrific one.
I would put a special mention in for Silverworks as well. I know you're a big fan of those guys as well. They now have a claddering making experience. So Silversmiths, Jill who runs it, she's an amazing woman as well. So I would put a special, I know that's four, but yeah, I love that as well. And they're my neighbours.
And, I've done the claddagh making with my daughter and my mom. And then last autumn, I took a group and we did the Christmas ornament making, which was a lot of fun. Even for the guys. The guys were like, I don't know about this. And they all had fun because they all got to hit things with a hammer.
Well, I thought I brought all my staff there, all the tour guides there for a Christmas party. And again, the men were very skeptical and they were there making it for their grandkids and they were putting their names on it and they were so excited and they loved it. They really did love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super fun experience. So enough about Dublin as a whole. Let's talk about you, because I have been lucky enough to join you for a few tours. And I want to say the first one, I think, was 2019, and we did the food tour. And then I was back again in 2020, and we did the whiskey tour, which I'll be honest, my husband was like, "You're doing a whiskey tour? You don't drink whiskey." And I'm like, "I had 6 shots of whiskey." And he's like, "How are you standing?" But you temper that whiskey with some really good food. So just amazing tours with so much history and information, the amount of knowledge of food history and the dishes and the drinks, just an incredible experience. So can you share a little bit about Flavour Trails?
Yeah, well, thanks so much for saying that, first of all, and it's always a pleasure having you out. Yeah, Flavour Trails, we are based in the city centre in Paris Court Townhouse Centre, so we're right here in the what was said to be the third nicest Georgian mansion in Dublin. So we have a lovely little tour of the house at the start of all of our tours. All of our tours are about 2.5 to 3 hours. So our food tours are bread and butter. It is by far our most popular tour. We really want to showcase Irish food in the way that Irish people enjoy it. So people who are used to those small bite tours on the move, we're a little bit different. We're an in-dining experience. So it's appetizer, main course, dessert over 3 venues.
It's a solid amount of food.
Absolutely. And it does what it says on the tin. It's probably what you're expecting to eat in Ireland, but it's the story behind the food. Why do we eat what we eat? How do we eat it? And again, lots of great anecdotes along the way. And we've got amazing relationships with all our venues. So that's a lot of fun. Our whiskey tour then, again, what I love about it is that we're independent. So 3 stops. We're the only country in the world producing all 3 styles of whiskey at the moment. So 2 grains, 2 single malts, 2 single pot stills, food pairings, and it's a lot of fun. But it's very important to me that people leave with knowledge so that they can tell the differences between the 3 styles. So we have a lot of fun trying to get that into people's head as we go along, the more whiskey they drink. With good memory, yes, we indeed have 6 samples on the tour, so that's great. And I love that one. And our newest offering is our storytelling tour. And storytelling is what we do best here. So all the tours incorporate some form of storytelling, but the storytelling tour is very much focused on what is storytelling? Why are we good storytellers? What makes a good storyteller? And that, of course, leads into the fairies, all the different types of fairies, why we don't disturb the fairies, all those important things. We do a stop around mythology, Irish mythology as well. And then we finish the final stop with stories of the characters of Dublin going back to the 18th century, right up to the present. And we do pub snacks, we do drinks at each stop. And we talk a lot about Irish pub etiquette, the origins of the pub, why we're obsessed with the pub. So again, it's fast becoming my favourite tour. I've done a few now in the last few weeks. The crack we've had has been amazing. It was really good.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, that one I was looking at and like, next tour, there we go. Next time I'm in Dublin, definitely hitting that. So how do people go about booking and finding you? Because obviously Flavour is spelled Flavour. So you have to utilize that spelling. Flavortrails.ie is the website. Is that the best place to book?
Absolutely. I really encourage everybody now to, now that we have the internet, we have these wonderful OTAs that we can all book through, and they are great. Like, don't get me wrong, we get a lot of bookings through them, but their commissions are sky high. So, especially a lot of people really want to support local businesses these days. So, booking direct for everything is, I think, really important, and it can be easy. Sometimes they don't let us call our companies, what they're called, obviously. So it can be difficult to find us, but always, if you find something you really like to do, go online, do a bit of Googling, and generally small tour operators will use similar photos as the ones that are on the OTA site, so you can book directly. So I always, always encourage people to book directly. So flavortrails.ie, you can Google the Irish Food Trail or the Whiskey Trail or the Storytelling Trail, and we'll pop up there, pretty easily, hopefully.
And then to kind of follow the crack, social. I know that you're active on social.
Oh, we really are. So Instagram, of course. So the whiskeytrail.ie on Instagram and the Irish Food Trail on Instagram. On TikTok, we're new to TikTok, so forgive us. Go on there. TikTok is Flavour Trails Ireland. You'll find us there on TikTok, and we're on Facebook as well. So we're across all the socials. So we love new followers to keep up with what we're doing. A lot of the whiskey people, actually, they're the ones that follow us most after doing the tour, because we're keeping them up to date on what's happening in the whiskey industry.
Speaking of whiskey and Ireland, I think you gave me probably the very best whiskey buying tip ever quite a few years ago. You know which one I'm talking. I can see it. You know which one I'm talking
The
about.
airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure people believe me when I tell them.
Yeah, like the most expensive country in the world to buy Irish whiskey is Ireland. So my first tip is only buy what's not exported or what's difficult to get in your state, because some is easier than others. So the airport is one of the best whiskey shops in the world. It's tax free. It's a really get there early. There's loads to see. They always have amazing tasters there. Now, of course, everyone's limited on the amount of whiskey they can buy in the airport. So if you do want to buy more, some of the great whiskey shops, the Celtic Whiskey Shop, of course, but also the Corkscrew, they're my new favourites. Thomas works there. So those guys are so knowledgeable about what's available in your state or not available. Go in, chat to them. They all ship, which is also fantastic. And my other tip would be, if you're in Ireland and you try a whiskey that you really like, really easy, Google your local liquor store and Google the brand rather than the expression. So say you've Teeling single grain and you love it. Google Teeling, they may have the single malt, they may have the pot still, but once they can get one, they can get them all. So you just need to go in and say, I see you have the Teeling single malt, but I would like the single grain. It's the distribution is the issue. So once they have distribution of the brand, they can get any of them in. So always ask.
Oh, good to know. Excellent tip. So before I let you go, when I am working with my vacation coaching clients or planning itineraries, probably one of the top questions I'm asked is, where should we eat? What are the best places to eat? And I haven't eaten everywhere in Dublin. I don't think I probably ever will eat everywhere in Dublin. But I want to end with 3 Dublin dining spots to consider. And what I want to kind of focus on is 3 different levels, like one quick grab and go, chipper, street food kind of thing, one casual spot, and one absolutely amazing, reservations required, crazy splurge.
Okay, so let's start at the end there with the crazy splurge, because I just had the very happiest pleasure of dining at Chapter One a couple of weeks ago, and it blew my socks off. It was abs now. It cost me an arm and a leg, but it was exceptional. So if you can get a reservation, you've got a special occasion. It's amazing.
Tell me a little bit about it. What do they serve? What are you looking at when you're
So we did the tasting, the 3 options of tasting
Love
menus.
a tasting menu.
Yeah, so you could choose, I think it was something like, you could choose either 6 or 8 courses. And then you could choose to have a bottle of wine or to have your different wines. The sommelier would come out and recommend. We went the whole hog, and it was one of the best experiences I've had eating in Ireland. It was exceptional. It was worth every penny that I didn't have to spend on it, but it was amazing. Really, really good stuff.
And where's that one at? Where are they
It's
located?
over on the north side, actually. It's over in Parnell Square.
Okay.
Beautiful dining room, very spacious. It is white tablecloth, fine dining. It is the very top end of fine dining, and it was excellent. Yeah.
And you're not going fast. So, what is it? 3 hours, right? At
Oh,
least.
minimum. Yeah, absolutely. And they were so lovely because actually it's something I dined somewhere else in another amazing fine dining restaurant recently as well. And when we came out, I was dining with somebody from New York, and they loved the food and they loved the wine, but they thought the service wasn't quite what they were expecting it to be. So culturally, again, I think it's a different thing between, especially New York and probably most people places in the US. We are much more casual in our approach. And so I had to explain that to him afterwards.
They're not turning the tables, right?
Exactly. And the other thing is they were looking for recommendations from the waiting staff. It's a bit like a money situation here. People don't, they won't presume that you have loads of money to spend. So they'll be a little bit nervous about, recommending the most expensive thing on the menu kind of thing. So it's a different approach. But chapter one was very definitely the other end of the spectrum. It was amazing. And so lovely. It wasn't stuffy. It was everything you wanted to be. Very professional, but extremely, you got that Irish welcome at the same time. It was amazing. So chapter one, I would say there. For casual dining then, I just love the seafood cafe in Temple Bar. They do happy hour on oysters. So people who like oysters, it's really good. It's run by Niles Bongi, who's like this amazing seafood wholesaler. He's a little bit of a celebrity chef in Dublin, and it's a great, great venue. Actually, one of his chefs is doing some food tours for us because he's really interested in food history and he's trying to encourage himself to learn more about the history of Irish food. So he's doing it through doing tours. He's amazing. So Seafood Cafe would be number two. And then for God, like Jody, have you had your spice bag yet?
I have not.
Oh my!
I have a chicken issue.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So you got to do the spice bag. I would be heading to somewhere like Capel Street or Camden Street, where you get some great, authentic Chinese Irish restaurants, and go get your spice bag. It's the cool thing at the moment. I was very skeptical. And I had my first one a couple of weeks ago, and I'm hooked.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good to, I actually have people asking me about the spice bag, and yeah, I have a bit of a chicken issue. We can blame that on my farm upbringing, and I won't go any further. So I have not partaken in that, but I'll have to make an exception the next time I'm back.
They do some good vegetarian versions, some good tofu versions as well, in some of the really good places. So, you don't have to be left out either.
Oh, so much fun to talk to you and to hear about Flavor Trails. Definitely about the new storytelling tour. That sounds like so much fun. And just to get your insight on Dublin, because, kind of like I led with, I would say 90% of tourists who come into Ireland stop in Dublin for at least a day, if not a little bit more. And to get, that inside look at what to do and where to eat. I mean, you just don't get better advice than from somebody who knows the city and knows the food.
Absolutely. And we have a policy. We don't take commissions from anybody. So anything that our tour guides recommend, it's where they go themselves. We also have great recommendations for around the country. So join us for a few hours, tell us your itinerary. We say, yeah, do that. Yes, eat there. No, don't go there. Book somewhere else. Absolutely. We are not afraid to answer controversial questions on the tour. So, yeah, it's good fun. And let me say, what you said there at the beginning, we've had a number of customers who say they heard about us through you. So we
Yay.
really appreciate you being an ambassador for us. It's so amazing. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate, the care and everything that you have given. Like I said, I've brought tours to you, and, it's always been one of the top things we've done at the end of the tour. It's always just one of the most memorable things. So I thank you for that as well. And I thank you for taking the time to chat with me today to share your advice and tips with my broader audience.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this chat that I had with Gráinne. She is so much fun, so much information about Dublin and Ireland and all the flavors. So I highly, highly recommend her Flavor Trails tour when you are in the city. If you're looking for more podcasts with more Dublin information, I want you to check out episode 219, which is family-friendly attractions, activities, and eateries. Great one, even if you aren't traveling with kids. Episode 159, the 3 best things to do in Dublin. Episode 112, the Jeannie Johnson famine ship. Episode 68, the musical history tour of Dublin with Fiona Dalton. And episode number 60, which is all about Temple Bar. Of course, you're going to find loads of Dublin information across the website, IrelandFamilyVacations.com. Now, it's never too early to begin your own vacation planning, and I have the resources to help you every step of the way. The Planning Your Ireland Vacation series guides you step by step to create your own amazing Ireland vacation. You're going to find answers to all of your travel questions, including the best time to visit, how to get around, and how to plan an itinerary, as well as answers to questions that you haven't thought of yet. To see the entire series in order, visit IrelandFamilyVacations.com/planning, PLANNING. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a 5-star review at Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you can't leave a review on your podcast app, you can leave a review on the Ireland Family Vacations Facebook page or on Trustpilot with the link IrelandFamilyVacations.com/trust. If you have questions or comments, you can email me, Jody, Jody, at IrelandFamilyVacations.com. As always, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, slán go fóill.